Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today I want to show you how to make this really easy PVC pipe trellis. It collapses, you can store it in a bucket, take it down, put it away for the winter. So this is 6 feet tall, that's 1.8 meters I believe tall. The width, 2 feet, 60 centimeters. So each rung is 2 feet wide, and I have 6 of them. Each piece on the side is 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, builds it all the way up to 6 feet. I'm going to go over the parts and pieces in a second, but you get the idea. So this is 6 feet tall, 1.8 meters. You can make this 4 feet tall. You can change the width of it. You can make it more narrow. You can make it wider. You can really design it and use it in your garden as you wish. I really like this. It's not expensive to make. It's going to last forever. And again, it's very versatile in however you want to design it. And it collapses down into small pieces. You can just store it in a bucket and put it away for the winter. Okay, let's get to the build. This is a great trellis. It's going to last pretty much forever. You can make it in different sizes. It's not really that expensive to build. Here's the parts that you're going to need. So all these tubes come in 10 feet. So it's a 10 foot, 3 meter, 300 centimeter piece of PVC. This is 1/2 inch, which is 1.25 centimeters. This is what's going to be used to secure the trellis to the ground. These 10-foot pieces are 3/4 inch, that's 2 centimeters. And you're going to need at least 2 of them, if not 3, depending on the size of trellis you're going to build. And I'll be going over the dimensions, and you can just buy the pieces as you need. You're also going to need some of these joints. This is a T-joint, and it pretty much goes just like this, and that's going to create the rungs in your trellis. And depending on how much space you put in between the rungs, you're going to need, a various amount of these little T-joints. Cheapest way to buy them is in bulk. They're about 70 cents each, and you're going to need some elbows. The elbows are good to go at the top of the trellis, and that just caps it off nicely. This is all you need. We'll do the measurements, we'll cut the pieces. These can be cut with a handsaw, a hacksaw, a power saw, a jigsaw, a sawzall. It doesn't matter. It's really easy to cut. We're going to pretty much cut these into 12-inch pieces, 30 centimeters minimum, all the way up to, 1.5 feet to 2 feet, 45 centimeters to 60 centimeters. And you can just build whatever shape you want. I'm going to go with 18 inches. It's 1.5 feet, 45 centimeters, and it's going to drop into here. Again, you can vary the build design based on, what you want to grow. These can be 4 feet tall, 1.2 meters, up to 8 feet tall, 2.4 meters, somewhere between 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet are perfect. And again, very flexible design, create whatever you need. They collapse, you can store them in a bucket, you can put them away. Like I said, this is really a versatile design, so you can make it in pretty much any dimensions that you want. So this raised bed here is 20 inches wide, that is about 50 centimeters. So the rungs that would go between the main posts of the trellis would be 20 inches long, and that's going to fit perfectly right into here. What I'm going to make is I'm going to make a trellis that is 6 feet tall. I want a rung every foot or every 30 centimeters, so I'm going to cut the first piece of 3/4 inch PVC into foot sections. So I'm going to need 6 of those. That will get me to my 6 feet. The length of the rung I want to be 24 inches or 60 centimeters. So these will be cut into 2-foot pieces. Let me show you the cuts real quick. The part that's going to secure the trellis to the ground is this 1/2 inch PVC, and you want to cut those into 2-foot pieces or 60 centimeters. So I'm just going to cut 2 of these, 2 feet each. That's going to slide into the 3/4 inch PVC, and that's how you secure it together. It's really easy, but just keep in mind you're just deciding how tall you want it to be. 4 feet, 6 feet, 8 feet, 1.2 meters to 2.4 meters. And then you're going to decide how often do you want the rungs to be in the trellis. Depending on what you're growing, you're going to want some closer together. Other trellises maybe have a greater gap in between, but I'm going to put a rung every foot. All right, cutting, it's going to be simple. Let me cut the pieces up. So here's a little tip to make sure all the pieces are even. After you mark off one of the 3/4 inch pieces of PVC 2 centimeters, so I'm doing every foot, every 30 centimeters. After you mark off one pipe, a piece of PVC, just put the other one next to it and mark it this way. It's a lot easier to get exact measures on both pieces if you do it this way. And this way the pieces will be a little bit more equal, and when you put it together, it's going to look more balanced. Here's a quick look of how you're going to assemble it. The sides, remember, are 30 centimeters, 1 feet. Each rung is 2 feet wide, so it's going to be 2 feet wide, 60 centimeters, and it's 6 feet tall, 1.8 meters tall. So I need 6 1-foot pieces of PVC on each side, and then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 also 2-foot pieces, 60 centimeter pieces right in the middle. It assembles pretty easily. I'll put it together, but let me just show you some things real quick. This is the 1/2 inch piece of PVC, 24 inches, 60 centimeters. That's going to get hammered into the ground, and you want to hammer it down at least halfway. And then the trellis, the 3/4 inch piece, just slides right on top of it. And that's how you're going to secure it to the ground. You're going to be using these little T-joints, and you assemble it just like that, all the way up. You're going to build pretty much a ladder, and you get a sense of how you're going to build it. And then up at the top, the final piece is where we're going to use the elbows just to close it off nicely, and they're going to come together just like that. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. It takes less than 30 minutes to make. You can create whatever dimensions you want. I like the 12-inch sides, 30 centimeter sides, because it's not that big of a gap. Perfect for cucumbers, smaller melons, etc. And then the 2-foot width is really nice because one cucumber plant would fill this out. You could try and squeeze in 2. If you want it to be wider, you can make it 2 feet, 3 feet wide, whatever you really want to create. Very lightweight, super sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's really rigid, perfect for trellising. And again, you can create whatever design that you want. All right, let me show you how we put it into the ground. I recommend laying your trellis down this way. You know where to put the smaller pieces of PVC where you're going to secure the trellis to the ground. And you just line them up like that. Remember, these are 24 inches, 60 centimeters, and you want to hammer it down to about this depth. Depending on how loose your soil is, it doesn't have to go as deep. Maybe it has to go deeper, but this is what's going to keep the trellis from falling over. So again, you do want a good amount of the PVC into the ground to support your trellis. Once they're both in, you just pick up the trellis and you slide it right onto the post. There's your 6-foot trellis. I think it fits perfectly right in that section. I like the dimensions that I chose. As you get taller, it's going to be a little more wobbly. It's not going to fall over or anything like that. You can go to, instead of 3/4 inch PVC, you can go to 1 inch PVC. That's going to make it more rigid. As I was editing the video, I thought I would cut in and show you a couple more options for support. Again, depending on how tall you make this, and if you're going to use the 3/4 inch PVC, or you're going to go to the 1 inch PVC, 2.5 centimeters, it may flex or wobble a little bit, and depending on what you're growing, you may want to support it a little more. Just getting one U-post, you can just go ahead, put it right into the ground. That's good to secure it, and it's only going to take one U-post to take care of any size trellis you really make. And I use U-posts throughout the garden in different places. Down at the bottom, this is much more expensive. You can get pieces of rebar and you can hammer them into the ground, and that does provide a little bit more support for the trellis. But it's all going to really depend on what you're growing up here, how tall it is, and maybe how thick the PVC piping is. I really like this design. Let me show you how easily it stores too real quick. At the end of the year, when you're done with your trellis, it breaks down really easily. Just throw it into a bucket or a pot. Stores really easily. You could put a bunch of trellises in, a pot this size. Just stick them in your shed and you're good to go until you need them again. Also, when you get to 4 feet, it's not going to do a whole lot. It's when you add that extra 2 feet, it's going to, flex a little bit. I don't mind the motion. I like the design. 3/4 inch PVC is at a good price point. Again, you can make it more rigid using that 1 inch piece of PVC. This is a perfect trellis that you can design in all kinds of shapes and sizes. It collapses. Just store it in a bucket at the end of the year. I mean, it looks nice, it's nice and clean, and it's going to support just about anything you want to grow up it. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll show you other ways to trellis. I'll help teach you how to grow food, teach you how to manage pests and disease. Again, thanks for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and this is really a versatile trellis made from PVC piping. Create it as you wish. Design it so it meets the needs of your garden. Thanks for watching.